My name is 𝗘𝗣𝗯𝗓𝗓. I'm the program manager head of the SBCC department. SBCC means Social and Behavior Change Communication department at the National Nutrition Agency. When we started from the RNSYSIP, when we are doing the situational analysis of nutrition in this country, we realized that most of the nutrition indicators or health indicators we are not really moving as expected, with a lot of interventions, a lot of efforts and money invested in nutrition. Later we realized, no, probably one of the things that we feel is people need to change their behavior. So SBCC is one of the strategies that cuts across all disciplines to make sure that yes, it helps people really to adopt to the ideal behavior that we're promoting, because nutrition has a lot to do with changing of behavior to adopt to the ideal one that we really wanted them to practice. Most of the time people assume for the community, for the people that you want to change their behavior for, they will sit within the four corners of the world and start assuming these are the reasons why people are not adopting to this ideal behavior, and you develop activities based on that. Most of these thematic areas or behaviors that we want to address has a lot to do with culture sensitive issues, some norms, some tradition. And in addressing that, you have to be diversified in the way that you approach some of those issues. Take an example of exclusive breastfeeding. Yeah, you want, like my director said, you want them to practice exclusive breastfeeding, and they are used to giving the child prolactal feeds, 𝗦𝗡𝗧𝗓𝗓𝗏, and also giving the child water or tea or what have you. So all of a sudden, you come to say, no, let's practice exclusive breastfeeding. It's not only the individual that we want to change. That's why when SBCC came, it has to evolve from the mere giving out the information, even though it's accurate and important, but it's not always the reason, cannot give them the reason to change. And targeting the individual's behavior and the determinants to effect that change alone is not enough. So you have to include the community, the society, and the individual. For example, in the case of exclusive breastfeeding, yes, you may want to target the individual. It's your primary audience. But what people forget to, or people don't understand is there are a lot more to that individual. You have the society, you have the community. For example, what we call the subjective norm. People who are very important to that particular individual. What does he feel to the behavior that you want that individual to do? They have an influence. Those are the secondary audience. You need to target them in your activities. Even if the individual realizes that, yes, it's true, it's possible that you can exclusively breastfeed your child for 6 months, but if the grandmother or the parents don't have that understanding, they may not help in that process, and in the long run, that person will not adopt the ideal behavior that you want to promote. So you need to take it in a holistic perspective, in a holistic view, not only the individual, but the society, the person where the person lives, and also people who are very important to that person. How do they think about those behavior that you want that person to adopt? And also the policy makers, the advocacy, the environment, all those things come into play to make sure that what we are really looking for happens. So these are some of the challenges that we face. Most of the time, you know, institutions, agencies, UN system, we develop their project and forget about the communication bit. And we all know communication is very expensive. Yes, we know that SBCC is not a magic bullet, it's a process. And one thing we also know is transformation could be the hardest task for some people. So it has to be a gradual process, and it has to be aggressive and consistent. You work very hard to adopt a certain behavior. All of a sudden, if those project finishes, you go back to it, you realize that people don't adhere, people don't still adhere to some of those behaviors. It has a lot to do with regular monitoring by departments. These are some of the things that is really lacking. Some of them will attribute it to lack of resources in terms of vehicle, in terms of other gadgets that we will need to go and monitor some of those activities. And in the long run, you realize that things start fading away. So this is really things that we feel is a challenge, and that's why we are building on some of those projects when they come, to make sure that at least some of those gains already registered are maintained at the level of the community.
Koran, I don't.
Sorry, Koran. Sumon. Enamore.
Ne korda wa. Ne profit sorry. Inyante na la yele na mo jojang.
Yeah.
Ale na mo profit nyim. Kemo nyante tanni lulu nyante wala jola jiare jang.
Ila keno me mula keno ya wa fe na mo jo fana kun.
Hako.
Mbo mo la.
Ade me mo la de.
Ha.
Ya de man treja.
e Musa ala kenola kordala wafi ala kordala wafi aka wala foyo ko anata wala jojang capital game tax to jang anata wala jojang de kemi wo kemi si latang ani lulu ayanta wala jola
ila profit
momo niyalon ko e ka kordala wafi walla kordalo ren bandi ko ka wala wafi ite nyanta nyin capital game tax jola jiarele
compagnie
ni atala dum fanan ibe compagnie le kono compagnie ye siyasa to je walla ye e mandin kol ka famu ye ko niyo be je la compagnie nyum kono so ite nyanta munekela se kemi o kemi si latang ala fanna do bi je bo re jola ala fanna do bi je kemi o kemi si du lamuwan ani lulu ibo le jola adi bo jola min dola wala mo nyin capital game tax to jiare nyanta jola wala to femana nani jarta ken ya bundal nani karamol nin ku katol be ka bonyi namolo ko aku jama ba ma ka bonyi namolo ko
amanda wala bakari nangin stilo le niti nyata anamo ka kataji yele
mbajule ko mbajule nyande malam bang fo mun to
gambia
da hondu bi ajule mun to
jiare la office be dawo da ni refutata je e ko nata capital e game tax le jo damo nata wala jo ibajola
abara yalo bidi abara ka maram
yalo ko nyamu ko mal
yo bismillah okay abara
min na sala fo mbajule
yo bismillah yo musa bido badi molu al signal lonko banku di ni atare ikata banku di tuwe manke banku di tuwo adi ka kenolo wafi wale ka kordala wafi ni ya wafi mun kuma ta je wala ta jiare la capital game taxi to yeta yete la namojo
nder projet mo nattinɗono ɗo e dow jibingol Fatoumata ɗo min kawri e moɗon ɗo hannde e nder wasak makko e nder projet ɗe joni o ari hannde o jibini ɗo he tawede moɗon joni jibingol ngol woni hen weltare do projet ɗo o jogui nafa saabu si woni a woni debo reedu ano yaha l'hôpital gila he lebbi ɗiɗi poɗɗa yaha l'hôpital ha jibina ko foti tan jibinata ano yaha l'hôpital jibina l'hôpital joni o jibini l'hôpital ɗo hawri e projet moɗon o neɗɗo si a woni reedu tek ano fotita ko l'hôpital ɓattoɗa joni premier helkaya gonɗo saare boɓe olla yamari pour so jom woni reedu lebbi ɗiɗi yaha l'hôpital si jibingol maɗa foti yaata l'hôpital to jibina toon wonde no si ana jibini ɓiɗɗo si ana o muynina muyno keddam maɗam tan wota wat hen wota wat ɗum jakase wota yarno ɓiɗɗo maɗa ha heɓa lebbi 6 ta ano muyna keddam enɗi ko wondi he ndiyam ɗum wondi he keddam fotani yarne ndiyam goɗɗam.
Like when we develop our strategy, we realize that we are dealing with people who are not really literate, and most of our interventions we are focused in the provinces. So we said, okay, this is what we have, and we need to design some messages for this community, and they are not literate. Then we start brainstorming of getting into audio visuals and getting into infographic design to change those messages in terms of posters, you know, pictorial that they can easily see, that will depict what you will have as your message. So we started transforming some of them into posters, some leaflets, some discussion cards. As you can see, we have a good number of them here, and then also develop some audio visuals for them. So these are things that we use to develop or to train the community structures at the level of the field.
With the project also coming, they develop a lot of activities or tools that we can use to sensitize communities. Those are those SBCC flip charts, SBCC booklet, and the hound arts. Those we use them every day in our healthcare deliveries during OPD, RCH, and even in the community updatings. We use those materials to sensitize the community because they are pictorial forms. So those things help, in changing the attitude of the community, attitude of people, especially patients who are coming here. Because attitude is something that is not a simple way to change. It has to be undergone a process from one stage to another.
Waaw waxtaan yi moo dee fekkee fii yëpp daf dee am njëriñ nit te projet bi bu commencé ba léegi nu ma gisee nu ma daan ñëwee ak bu projet bi ba léegi nu ma dee gisee nit yi di ñëwee noos dafa am change dafa gën a yokku waaw dafa gën a yokku nit te ñoom dañ si dee am nañ si njëriñ man su ma jógee fële noos si Pakaaw su ma jógee Pakaaw ñëw fii noos su ma ñëwee noos yi dañ dee kontaan suma affaire jigéen ñu ma dee fekk tamit si noos bi fii dañ dee kontaan dañ dee gis ne man góor laa te ñoom ñi nga am ay góor waaye gis ne ne góor ñëw waaye man ñëw naa maa ngi toppatoo suma xale bu baax loolu daf leen dee kontaan loo bu baax.
When we get to the field, what we do is we invite all the community structures for each of those intervention areas, and then we train them on the strategy. But most of the training will be based on the pictorial that we develop, because obviously it was tested, the pictures, and we were accepted by the community. So most of the training was done on pictorial and also hands on deck and inferential distance. So these are some of the materials that we develop.
Yo wala nan kon sinan nale kacha ngata kordalin kata bunnimbu sinan nata tel kacha ka mo yalla bun kon ko he mbato nyiri kacha ni karun ti dayre mata dum ngam be kacha kan ne fana yo nata wala kacha malo nyin nata la le men suta ba yo arbita kan no sile tankarola kata jata ken nyanyi yo sinan no so felenti atali felendal fotata no man no so ja buloti dali sinan no so yal welcome.
When we started, there was a situational analysis that was done to assess the health and nutrition status of this country. And in the situational analysis, we realized that we needed a strategy, SBCC strategy, and we also needed community mobilization strategy. So we started from that. The situational analysis gave birth to the design of these two strategies. How do we really mobilize the communities? Who are the partners that we really need to bring on board to be able to help us achieve what we want? And in that also, we also thought of the SBCC strategy. What are some of the mechanisms that we will use to address issues, especially issues that have some sensitive and some sensitive issues? So these are the two strategies that we adopt first. And in the development of those strategies, of course, like in the situational analysis, we invite those community structures that you talked about. Because we didn't know the issues. We know that yes, exclusive breastfeeding, for example, is a problem. Booking early within the first trimester was a problem. Family planning was a problem. But what we didn't know at the time was what were the barriers for people not to adopt to those ideal behaviors that we wanted to promote. So we have to interview them. We kind of focus group discussion with those structures. And these people will now tell us these are the current practices. So after analyzing the correct practices, we see whether they were deviating from the ideal practice and what were the barriers to that. After all these things were collected, then we also discuss with them who are the likely partners to implement both strategies, which is the SBCC strategy and also the CM strategy. That's how we develop our partners to say, yes, this is not something that only the agency can do. Nutrition is more than the agency alone. This involves all stakeholders in nutrition, in health, in agriculture, and everybody. So with that also, we were able to get some of those structures, some of those partners, and train them on both the strategies, the SBCC strategy and also the CM strategy. So all this emanated from the situational analysis and the designing of those strategies and coming up with an implementation matrix that was focused in addressing some of these indicators that we already highlighted as problems that we want to improve as far as nutrition and health is concerned in this country.
waaye liñ bëgg a wax mooy projet bi balaa ñëw fekkoon nañ si jafe-jafe yu bari waaye tey bi projet bi ñëwee gis nañ ne andi na wecceeku bu rëy si dëkk bi parce que nit ñi fi mu nekk nii am na ñoo xam ne am nañ si xam-xam tey comme VSG bi nga xam ne ñoo nekk si biir dëkk bi jàngal nañ ñu bari bu ma mun naa laa wax ne 95% jigéen yi nekk si biir Fass ñoom ñëpp fi mu nekk nii am nañ xam-xam lu aju si mbiri projet bi te loolu VSG bi ñoo ko def gannaaw bi nga xam ne amee nañ support si naana bi nga xam ne ñoo amee programme bi mu mel ni daal wax dëgg yàlla projet la boo xam ne fi mu ñu fekkoon jëlee nañu fa yóbbu ñu si beneen place yu baree bari mun nañ see lim yu bari parce que tey fi ñu toog nii tey soo fi ñëwoon last year fu neex ganaar sax duggee fa waaye tey fii suñ la ubbilut nga war a dugga doo dugga.
I will say all the projects the agency implemented were highly successful from the evaluation reports, from the impact evaluation. But the project that I will say is one of the best projects that really build the capacity of the agency is the maternal child nutrition and health resource project.
VSG dañ toogoon di waxtaan seet jafe-jafe yi nga xam ne amoon nañ ko si gannaaw si affaire yi dem lopitaan wala dem noos métti na lool diggante Sambakala ak Dunkebe si diggante bi dafa nekk 4 kilomètres moo fa nekk 4 kilomètres yooyu pour dëkk yi jigéen ñi mën a àgg si dëkk bi 𝗓𝗡𝗩 dafa jafe trop si wàlli transport duñ mën di am transport ñu daan amee mooy seeti mbaam yi ak seeti fas lañ daan takk pour dem 𝗓𝗡𝗩 da ngaa gis ne loolu daf am jafe-jafe yu bëri nekk si biir si jafe-jafe yi mooy dañ daan dem ba si yoon bi dagg yi naka buumi mbaam yi dañ daan dog wala fas yi bu defee da ngaa gis ne jigéen ñi daan am accident si yoon yi di gaañu man mi laa wax ni suma jabar bokk na si tànk bi dafa dogoon si seret bi ba ñu yóbbu ko lopitaan am na fa 2 weer Banjul loolu moo tax nag buñ gisee ne kon am na benn projet buy ñëw te boobu dafa war a ànd ak xaalis te dañ ci war a samp ay projet waa dëkk bi toog ak VSG bi ak VDC bi ñu xalaat ne kon léegi nañ jéem a samp place bii nii jigéen ñi mun fi ñëwee noos ba nga xam ne jafe-jafe dina wàññeeku waaw loolu mooy sabab waral pour ñu def projet bi fii.
When we started, it was a smaller project called the Rapid Response Nutrition Security Improvement Project, and we gave birth to the bigger project because we are looking for a bigger project for sustainability and also to build the capacity of the agency, and that was the Maternal Child Nutrition and Health Resource Project.
Project is doing great, and it has improved the community's performance when it comes to healthcare services, and it has improved the health facilities stance in the country when it comes to that healthcare delivery. Yeah. So the RVF project, we are very grateful as healthcare providers, and we are very grateful as healthcare monitors in the area that the project, we are expecting it to move further, so as to bring better healthcare delivery again into the communities.
Musol batatale num bake fan, bari saying musol dahatale because ikatale num fo faro kono kata jibio la je nyin na kol to ten kata jio bondi je mol ka bata bakele bari biri nyim projet ko nata mol daha batale nyim projet ko ye mol kontandi bakele andu wotumo fanan hani konton o fan ni mol ka konton be kam bulo ko nyin boli killing a lot.
So basically the benefits of the RBF result-based maternal and child health nutrition project activities cannot be overemphasized. It has improved access. Healthcare seeking behavior of our communities has greatly improved in terms of how soon they come to the health facility to seek for service when they are sick. Particularly the labor work, where we could recall that from history, the greater percentage of our women were attended to by traditional birth attendants. Now we have seen a significant improvement on that.
When that project started, we were saying, oh, this is it. This is what we were looking for, to really move Nana from where it is to another level. Even though Nana was reckoned with both within and outside the country, but this was also another opportunity for us to sell out the agency and also to build the capacity of the agency. So those were the days that we started working on our policies for the agency, renewed our policy which was expired, start working on some of these tools that are very critical in building the capacity of the institution in terms of all the strategies that we have. We started with the communication strategy, and we also, from there, we said, no, we need a bigger strategy that the whole country will buy into. And that's how we come into building the social and behavioral communication strategy involving all the other partners in this country and the UN partners. And also for the first time, the country also developed community mobilization strategy. This was the project that helped us build the capacity in terms of all these tools that we have today. And also the nutrition bill for the first time, it was reviewed by the MCNHRP. So you can see all these tools that we are working with that give us the name and also that give us other projects emanate from the MCNHRP. And most of the staff capacity were also built from the MCNHRP. So this is a project that I can see for sure that it has really moved the agency from one level to another level. And because of that, so many institutions are also approaching NANA using those very tools that were developed during the MCNHRP, and it really paid dividend in most of the interventions that NANA is implementing.
Lopitano ja, de se wori jande, kanto nga falin jamale je lopitano la, falin jamanga mun je lopitano. ko ɗo jang fos ni bina jang ini da darabo kana le be dalaka alum fana baga so ni bine ni da joron bina da be mum mutala be kula mun na fen bare alhamdulillah ngalo bitano jabe tiyata adum boro fanan kadila anyama yara robe kela nyama ko kunde man soto jang na man kenni tiyati o kayni munde subo janila jang biri nyum porjeto na tantele sewo doron ne sewo doron ngawaleje man kole ya kuji jang.
I have to say a very big thank to Maternal and Child Nutrition Health Result Project. A very big thank because they are supplementing government efforts. We all know that no state in the world can fulfill all its responsibilities to its community.
jogal kër ga ma la doon jaayloo kër ga jar na
xam ne démb rek barki démb rek am na ku ma kool di ma laaj ndax jar na am de
waaw yow wutal ma client wutal la client xam naa client jaay naa ko kay wax dëgg yàlla sant yàlla la ba mbëri nag
waa jox ma suma wàll
junne ba ma xamee loon jël ko
balaa nga may junne nag
waaw
da ngay fay bor ba pare
man dama xameel kenn bor
amee loo kenn bor
mukk kan la amee bor
xamuloo kër googu ñuy wax jiyaare waaw
dama koy dégg
fi ñuy fayee taxi yeeg yooyu fi ñuy fayee naamu
dama koy dégg rek
mu ngoog dafa am nag ci biir taxi yi lu ñuy ooyee capital gains tax
muy capital gains tax
waaw kay capital gains tax boobu yow moom war nga koo fay fi mu nekk nii
man ma jaay kër ga xanaa ka ma ko jaayee koy fay kay
mu ngoog xam nga kan moo ko war a fay bu fekkee da nga am empty land boo xam ne yaa ko moomal sa bopp boo ko jaayee moo xam nu xaalis ba toll da nga cee war a génnee tax fay ko jaaree
dama ciy génne taxi
fay ko
muy bi maanaam li ma ko jaayee laay dank yëpp ñëw jox leen jaaree jël leen
déedéet doo ko defee noonu waaye dafa am pourcentage buñ ciy jël dafa des nag ci xaalis bi ni mu toll ñu génnee ci mun ngaa fay sax 5% wala 15%.
ma naa fay juróom
waaw
wala fukk ak juróom
waaw kay bu fekkee yow kenn la waaye bu fekkee compagnie moo ko jaay
waaw
moo xam kër gi empty land la
waaw
wala dafa am taax ci biir
waaw
bu fekkee compagnie ko jaay mun naa fay 10% wala sax 25%.
ma fay ji fukk wala fukk ak juróom
waaw bu fekkee compagnie
noonu la
loolu mooy capital gains tax te nag du laan rek ak yeneen yi mel ni moom yëpp te xam nga loolu fay ko li tax mu am solo dafay dimbale réew mi gis nga agriculture bi
waaw
njàngum xale yi
waaw
tali bi hospital bi yooyu yëpp dafa bokk ci loo xam ne government bi daf koo war a def nga gis ci sa bopp yow
léegi bi maanaam fu mu ne nii may waxee yow fii laa defee bërit dootuma jaar kër ga de nii laay jaar dem jaar yi
yéen ñii di ma seetaan ak man mii di wax ak yéen daw leen gaaw ngeen fay seen capital gains tax ci makaani jaaree bu leen gën a jege ndax loolu mooy doole réew mi
During one of our mission with the World Bank, they introduced the current TTL, the tax team leader for this social safety net project, to the team. And it is from that time that we start touching base with the woman, Penny Williams, to see how best we can really work on this project and make it happen. Later, we were able to draft our concept notes and all the required documentation, exchanging emails here and there until a point that we were able to secure 30 million from the World Bank and also with a government counterpart funding of $1 million from the Gambia government. We were able to look at some of the surveys, the past surveys in terms of the integrated household survey, looking at the average, total average poverty count and the total average poverty gap in this country. And then we come up with 20 districts in this country that we wanted to implement the NAFA proper. We identified those 20 districts, and within those 20 districts, we had to target 15,606 households. So this was what was used to develop the project appraisal document and the financial agreement. But when COVID strike, you cannot do anything because we don't know what will happen. So we said, okay, what do we do now? We cannot start this project because the social registry is not up and running. Taking into consideration of all those issues that need to be in place before we start the NAFA proper, then we said, okay, what can we do now to help government to mitigate this so that we can start the main NAFA. So that's how we restructured with the TTL to say, okay, then we can do something called quick, NAFA quick. And in NAFA quick, of course, we know COVID touches almost everybody. Everybody is affected. So we said the 20 districts might not be very helpful because like you may leave out communities that are very vulnerable. So we said with this one, we just have it near universal because it's like it's coming to help people to mitigate COVID and also to help them improve on their health and nutritional status. NAFA quick goes into the 30 districts instead of the 20 districts. And the 30 districts touches the entire households in CRR, the entire household in URR, the entire household in LRR, the entire FOIs, starting from block, and also one district in North Bank region is Sabah Sanjal district. We were targeting 83,000 households within these regions and these 30 districts. And the NAFA quick is meant to mitigate, of course, COVID and also to improve on the health and nutritional status of people. So we said, yes, money is not the ends and means of everything. There must be a reason why we are giving this money. And the reason there is for them to use this money, stay home, use this money, and then diversify their diet, improve their health and nutritional status. So we also come up with modules, SBCC modules, that accompany the cash transfer to every household within this 30 districts that I've mentioned for 4 months. NDP is a submission of the institutions, agencies that government use as a blueprint to say, yes, this is where we want to focus, this is where we want to be, and we call it a National Development Plan. And if you look at our project, they are all buying into that NDP. Like all this intervention that we are doing is trying to reduce malnutrition in this country, and these are the activities that we already reflected in the MDP. The breast is already part of the MDP. So this is why sometimes if people say, is the MDP working? Yes, to us we will say yes, it's working because we are implementing. It's not like a project per se, but it's like a combination of all these activities from different institutions, different ministries that form this what we call the NDP. Like nutrition, we all agree. Nutrition is a cross-cutting issue. Yeah, the water resources have a lot to do and impact to what we are doing. Yeah, the environment, their work have a lot to do with what we are doing. Fisheries, agriculture, they have a lot to do with nutrition activities. These are nutrition sensitive and nutrition specific. So they complement each other. So to me, yes, our activities are really working. I can only speak on the nutrition sensitive, the nutrition specific, which is what we are doing, and also part of the nutrition sensitive that we are implementing. For example, the cash transfer that we are doing is nutrition sensitive, because we are giving them that to be able to get food from different food groups to diversify their diets, and coupled with also the environmental sanitation, the hand washing. So in a sense, all these things combined together is making nutrition really working. And as we speak now, from the last DHS nutrition, we have realized that it has really the impact is coming down. The rate of nutrition, for example, the wasting rate is coming down. Stunting, which was about 25%, now we're talking about 19% from the DHS, and from the recent survey, I understand is going down, even though the data is not published. So we're going to 16 or 15. And these are very, very difficult indicators. Sometimes it takes 5 years before you can move some of these indicators to 2 percentage points, 3 percentage points. But because of the intervention over the years, with all these projects and also being complemented by other institutions, other ministries, we were able to bring some of those nutrition indicators down. So to me, yes, if nutrition is working and you bring in the percentage down, then you can say to some extent probably the NDP is really working. But this is something that probably somebody needs to coordinate at some level to be able to tell you with all these interventions that are coming into the country, where are we as a country?
maa ngi tudd Moussa Badji maa ngi represent parti agent la maa ngi represent NPP anyway si polling station bu nekk campement fii Banjul North yes suñ propose bi bu nekk fii mooy dañoo register voters joxe voters card si joxe voters card dafa am recommendation yoo war a am pour am voters card da nga need a birth certificate soo ko amutee da nga need ID card soo amutee ID card da nga need a passport pour qualify pour ñëw ut si voters card understand nga te Gambian si ñu leen a ñaan ñu nekk si kër bi te toog di xaar di waste time nañ génn si ñu xam ne voters card bi dafa important pour ñu am ko ko sa right la pour nga am this voters card kenn mënu la ko aaye if you are a Gambian da nga need a voters card te lii sa right la da nga need lii pour am ko understand kenn du la ko mën a aaye soo amee lu ma lan wax nii soo amee sa voters card sa ID card ak sa passport da nga qualify pour ñëw ñu register la nga am sa voters card fii so maa ngi ñaan ñu toog si kër bi ñu génn si ñu ut seen voters card ñu xam ne dañ am right to vote because soo votutee si government bi ni doo mën a wax dara si dëkk bi waaw ñii dañoo toog di decide yow nga ne boy man votuma nii soo doo am dara looy wax loo gis rek nga xam ne yaa ko teg sa boppa waaye soo voté yow yaa make sa choice pour decide ne man lii laa bëgga understand nga so maa ngi ñaan ñu toog si kër bi ñëpp ñu génn si ñu ñëw ut si voters card ñu am right pour vote.
COVID-19 is a virus disease and it can show in many ways. That is the signs and symptoms of COVID-19 includes but are not limited to this, which is fever, that is high temperature when we say fever, and it also have coughing that is also manifested as a sign and symptom. We also have loss of breath or difficulty breathing, which is also a major sign as far as COVID-19 is concerned. But there are other signs which are like loss of smell, loss of taste, joint pains or body aches. These are all signs that are related to
I am 𝗘𝗣𝗩𝗘𝗟𝗓. I'm a 23-year-old. I'm studying political science at the University of the Gambia in my 3rd year. Also a minor in French. I live in 𝗘𝗣𝗩𝗘𝗟. I was born in Banjul, number 12 New Street. I went to Mr. Kamara's nursery school, and from there I also went to Mr. 𝗘𝗣𝗩𝗘𝗟 International, where I did completed my nursery school, I can say. And from there I moved to New Covenant Primary School, where I did my primary school from like grade 1 to grade 6. And then later I moved to St. Peter's Junior Technical School, where I did my grade 7 to grade 9. And then also went to SOS Hammond Minor Senior Secondary School for my grade 10 to 12. So I also used to be the former head girl of SOS Hammond Minor. That was in 2017 in my batch. So I graduated in 2017 from high school and then joined the university in 2018, and until today I'm in my 3rd year. I think my journey started as a child growing up. I was from a very much primitive and conservative family. Both my parents were literally educated, I can say. So I was this child that really grew up like wanting to be something, I can say, because I was very much more passionate about like would I say like seeing yourself somewhere, I can say, because I was this one child that was committed into a TV, and then while I'll be watching people speaking or doing anything that I feel appreciated, that I would really see myself in their shoes, and then like I keep telling myself that I want to be this person tomorrow, that I will want to sit in TV and then like we read the news and everything. So I think it was more or less like, it was just like a whole child's dream, and then, you know, like having to like envision things to be like much more different. So from there I joined the Gambia Red Cross Society, where I started as a whole first aider. And then coming from the Red Cross, I did so many trainings with them, like from camps and everything. And then I did intensive first aid, I did first aid as well. And then like so many other trainings that I did within the, like with the Gambia Red Cross Society. And then I used to be in Talinding Home Red Cross Link by then. So from there I was also exposed to other organizations like Voice of the Young, where I used to be, and then we were more or less like a whole child advocacy organization, which was like under the umbrella of the Child Protection Alliance. And then this was like an organization that like really exposed us to trainings, you know, trainings of child's rights, child protection and everything. So these were all platforms that really boosted me up into into being a better person. And when it comes to more or less on speaking up and then like fighting for myself, I think this was how I started. So while I was growing up as well, I did like also work with other organizations like the 𝗘𝗣𝗡𝗅𝗡𝗡𝗡𝗡 alumni, where I serve as a Secretary General, and then also Voice of the Young, where I did one serve as an Assistant Secretary General, and that was me taking minutes and then like all meeting minutes, you know, minute recaps and everything, and then like also joined their core, which was like which was the executive, where I also take meeting minutes and everything, and then still report back to the general meeting and everything. So these were all leadership positions that I took just to like really build up myself and then see how best I can really boost up my capacity as a girl growing up. So apart from that, also I think one of the reasons why I also joined the youth fraternity as to like the youth work and everything, it was because like I feel that there was so much that I could offer, like through the whole Gambia Red Cross, which was like a service-oriented organization, whereby we were going to inter-house sports and then still want to offer first aid assistance like to students who were athletes and everything. And then also during trying times, let us say when we have flu and everything, whereby we were going to community and then help them, you know, during these times. And also just like a lot more things that the Red Cross, you know, offers, you know, like within a country. So starting up from there and then like getting to exposed to much more bigger platforms like Voice of the Young, and then 𝗘𝗣𝗡𝗅𝗡𝗡𝗡𝗡 alumni, you know, and then like having to work with all these organizations really helped boosted me up. So while I was there, I was like also part of like the National Youth Parliament, where we did also voter sensitizations, and then as well election observations, I can say. So these are just few of the organizations that I have worked with and that have really boosted me up as a girl child growing up. I think one of my biggest achievements, I would say, it's like completing high school, because I never thought that I would really come this far. You know, I never thought that I was like even gonna get to junior school, and I still made it to junior school. I never thought that I would like even come to senior school, and I still made it through senior school. And then today being in university like means a whole lot. And then I think this is one of my biggest achievements. You know, looking at where I come from, and then like what it really takes me just for me to get here, you know. So apart from that, also one of my other achievements will be getting myself exposed to the outside world. That is like my travel trainings that I have done. One of it is the like Young African Leaders Initiative, which is like the YADI RLC, and then I was selected among other 8 Gambians that I went with to Ghana. So I came home with the whole leadership award, which really contributed like a whole much more for me. Because could you imagine like having 125 fellows in one program, and then like me being the youngest coming up with the leadership award means like a lot to me, because of it was like a big recognition for me to really come home with. So I think this is one of my biggest achievements as well. And also one of the other achievement that I made was me being in the Pan-African Youth Leadership Program, which was held in the US. It was like a 1-month fellowship training held in the US exchange program. Alright, I grew up wanting to study law, like wanting to be a lawyer, you know, like I said when I started as well. So all this while, I really worked hard towards it until when I had to sit to my 𝗓𝗡 exams that I lost my mom. This was like within the first week of my 𝗓𝗡 exams, and then I was to have my official paper. So I lost my mom on a night before my first paper, and this really affected me at some point, because of I could see like all the studies that I have made just to like get that A grade, you know, shifted for me, because these were really tormenting nights for me. That nights that I could barely sleep, and I could have still given away from my exams, but I still find the need of having to sit for it and then still do, even though I might not get like the whole perfect grade that I really endeavored for, but I can at least get something out of it. Because like I said earlier, finishing high school or even getting to this path was never was not something that I like even dreamt of, but I have made it this far. So I think what really kept me going was for the fact that I believe that I've really maneuvered so many challenges along the way, and then like getting this far, I couldn't have just given up at this juncture. So what happened was after my mom's demise, I had my exams, and then when my results came out, like I had 5 credits, and then I was very much hopeful that I was going to do law, until when I did my first application to the University of the Gambia, and then just to be told that I wasn't really accepted for to do law, and I had to go to the admin, and then I was told that they have this departmental requirement that was soliciting for a C4 in English when I had a C5 in English. So this was like a whole paradigm shift for me, and then I was given a choice either for me to go and resit English to the access program, or I should go and do it as a private WAS paper as well. So I said to myself that like the whole part of me wanting to study law was my dream and everything. But if at all I still have other chances of really going into another field, I can still go into it. So I'm looking at all the time that I will have to spend and everything, I really decided to go into political science. So then like what happened was I did consult like admission officer, and then asked if there were any other courses that I could have done, like despite the fact that I have a C5, even though like my results was like at least on an average level. So I did made up my mind on like doing political science, which I thought I wouldn't really enjoy, but now of course I'm enjoying it, because I have really built a whole passion around the diplomacy and the international arena, I can say, which have really exposed me into understanding foreign policy and diplomacy as well. And then like along the while I have also done few law courses that I have really enjoyed and everything, and I think like it is so fitting. So studying political science was not my first choice, but also I do not also regret studying it or like choosing it, you know, or like having to do it right now. I could have been like a victim of arranged child marriage, and I did, you know, escape all of that. So like when I was in grade 6, I had a choice to choose either getting into a marriage setting and then having to go to school. But I did choose going to school because I believe that I really wanted to change the narrative, like I said earlier on. This has been my dream, and then like it has been my passion. So I chose going to school, and then not likely giving into a whole marriage setup. So I did like escape, but again like the journey was a bit harder for me, because I had to really have my guard up and then still watch out for myself as much as I can. I can remember when I was in my seventh grade, and then like this whole issue of marriage came up, and then I was given like a choice of either going to school and then having to get married, and then like having this whole threat of my school fees not being paid, that like, you know, I should start going to look for scholarship or whatever, and then still being like in the dark of not knowing where should I go and get funds from, what should I do next, what is going to be my fate and everything. She stood by me, and then even though she couldn't support me financially, I can say, and then one thing that I was sure of, if I should have like even go and ask for that money, she should have given it to me, but I still found need of trying to do it on my own. So I could remember there was this building at an NTC junction that was like under construction, and then what I did was every day, like after school, I would go and meet those masons there, and then like I would ask them, if I am to like mold a brick for you, how much are you gonna pay me? So that was where I raised like part of like, was it my 50% balance school fees that I did had to pay to St. Peter's, and then I got it from there. And I never said this to my mom, I can say, because I really have this dream of, you know, having my education through, like making it through life and everything. Because like I said earlier, like I really wanted to change the narrative of my family, and then like my narrative as a girl child, and then being the first girl child to really complete high school, and then like to the extent of coming into university, really means a lot to me. Because like I feel that I'm getting emotional right now. Getting emotional. Alright. So literally, I'm the first girl child to complete complete high school in my family, and then also enroll for university education, I can say. So looking back at my struggles and then everything that I really had to went through just for me to come this far, I really have no regrets, and I find it much more inspiring for myself that like I have really break through the glass ceilings of making it this far, like despite the struggles, despite everything that I really had to go through, you know. But like I keep saying that my mom was a very integral part of my journey, and she did not really get to witness, you know, seeing me to graduate of high school, you know, and then just having to wake up one morning and then to be told that she's no more. And this was within my grade 12 exams. It was like one of the most critical stage of my life, because this was what was going to determine my future. How will it be like? Because this is the same result that I have to present for me to get into tertiary institution, and I still had to, you know, fight to just for me to make it this far. But I'm grateful. It's been a very much rusty journey and so many achievements along the way, and I really dedicate all my achievements, all my accomplishments to her. And for wherever she is, I pray that her soul continue to rest in Jannah. So I think I will get it out to the girls out there, because I feel that they will really, I think this story purposely fit for them, because I feel that they're the ones who are growing up and everything. One thing that I keep saying to my siblings is that life is just what you make it. We do all have our own challenges and everything, but we do also choose like our own paths. And even though fate and destiny lies down there, but like it is just who we are, and then like it is just what we just want to make up ourselves. Because I really had a chance of just being any other rampant out there, because like I said, my dad and my mom are not educated. I could have just keep bringing bad grades to them, and they will not know and they will not realize it for themselves. But again, it is not just about them. It was just about me. it was basically where I really wanted to see myself someday. Will I sit and then, you know, reflect back and then like be happy and then still celebrate myself? So you just don't give up on your dreams. Keep striving, keep fighting. I'm sure it is gonna be something rusty, because like they keep saying, Rome was not built in a day. And then like for the fact that like you know yourself better than any other person, I can say that should be something that you should always challenge yourself to. And then like you should not do things because of you feel that people are watching over you. I could remember I came across this quote that says, discipline is not just when people are looking at you, but like discipline is when like nobody's looking at you and then like you're still doing the right thing. So you just choose a life for yourself and then like you work towards it and you'll be there. So it's been a rough journey for me, at the same time beautiful moments that I've shared with people. And I want to take an opportunity just to say thank you to few people in my life that I cannot really say thank you to. One of them is 𝗘𝗣𝗯𝗡𝗟𝗡. She has been one person that I have looked up to since I met her. I can say like all this energy, all this inspiration was really driven from her story. I heard her share her story, and I think that was the day that my life turned around. And I keep saying this always, but I think this is in a bigger platform that I can scream your name, 𝗘𝗣𝗯𝗡𝗟𝗡. Thank you so much. You are the reason why I am here today, I can say. And like I keep saying, to my mom, I can't really thank her enough. I just keep praying for her soul to continue to rest in eternal peace. And then to my father, yes, thank you very much for looking over me for the past couple of years, and then for having your bicycle to be my my vehicle that I can ride and then still go to school. And then to the entire Mbayan family, these people were absolutely amazing and great, that they really rendered me a home to stay and then like a roof and then give me food. And then to like one of my one-nose friend, Kumbambai, I appreciate you big time and I thank you for everything. And then to my foster father, I can say, Nick Rokop, thank you very much for the support and everything that you have offered me over the years. And then to one gentleman that have really supported me all this while and have been pushing me, 𝗘𝗣𝗯𝗡𝗟𝗡𝗡, 𝗘𝗣𝗩, you all are amazing, 𝗘𝗣𝗩𝗡𝗟𝗡𝗡. Every other person, like, I'm just saying thank you. I cannot really figure out all the names right now, but these are people that I am really grateful for having. And then to my very own mother who have looked over me when things were much more critical with me, which is Bajan named Fatumbai, that is like this Bayan family still. I'm grateful and I appreciate you all. So and then like a big thank you to SOS Haman Minor Senior Secondary School, and as well Uncle 𝗘𝗣𝗩𝗡𝗟𝗡𝗡 of Child Protection Alliance. You know, I'm really grateful to you all, and I couldn't really, my thank yous are not enough. I feel that I can find a better word or like a better thing to say to you people, because you are the reason why I am here today.